How's it going, guys and ladies? Guys and ladies, how are you? It's Axel Williams, we're back with another video, and today, guys and ladies, we are going to be talking about horror games, but the photorealistic horror games. You know, we see so many photorealistic horror games. There's been such a big wave, hasn't there, recently, of photorealistic horror games emerging on the latest platforms. I'm just going to talk briefly about what I believe these new horror games lack compared to, you know, horror games, say, like Outlast or Resident Evil, for obviously argument. Now, a lot of us have played, you know, Silent Hill, the Outlast games, Layers of Fear, Resident Evil, obviously all these indie games that you can play now. Particularly the mainstream games, though, such as Resident Evil, you know, always a great playing experience. Gameplay's brilliant, you know, the graphics are good, they're never photorealistic, but the graphics are good, gameplay aspects are always fantastic, and overall they're very enjoyable games. You know, you can use weapons, you can shoot, you can fight, the combat system's pretty cool, and that is what a lot of these horror games have. Looking at these new games, looking at these new horror games now, these new, not necessarily even horror games, because they're not all horror games, there's actually been a few body cam games released. And I've been looking at them. I've been analysing the core gameplay aspects of these games, watching walkthroughs, you know, looking online and so on. I've been watching them. I've spent hours, to be fair. I've been intrigued. I've spent quite a few hours watching some of these online. Just looking at the overall graphics, the gameplay elements, you know, the kind of what you cans and can't do's in these games. I mean, these games are photorealistic. They look lifelike. It's almost like someone's came along and thought, this is how horror games need to be now. They need to be more immersive in terms of the graphics, the way things look. You need to almost feel like it's real life. You kind of feel like you're looking at an actual live picture that someone's taking. You know, someone's literally gone somewhere and taken an actual picture on their phone. That's how realistic some of these screenshots look to these games. I just want to compare these two, really, though. I want to look at these games that are photorealistic, and I want to compare them to other games like Resident Evil. I know in games like Outlast you can't do anything other than run and hide and, you know, get your camera out, but there's something about these new games, there's something about some of these photorealistic horror games and these body cam games that just doesn't quite sit right with me. What these games are, they are photorealistic games that literally are all about the level of graphics that the game can actually provide the player. It's almost like, you know, let's see how good we can make the graphics. Let's see how great the graphics can look at the cost of everything else. And the one thing I find when I'm seeing these games is that the graphics always outdo the gameplay. And people are saying, yeah, of course they're going to, because look how good the graphics are. The gameplay can't possibly compete with how great the graphics are, but it's almost like the gameplay, the core gameplay aspects are completely forgotten about. It's almost like they can't have both. You can have one, but you can't have the other. They're substituting tremendously realistic graphics for any such gameplay aspects. I recently watched a horror game which took place in a paranormal household. And yeah, the graphics are fantastic. I think the guy playing it was walking through a kitchen. The kitchen, you know, everything looks really well lit, detail fantastic, going upstairs. It wasn't probably one of the best examples of photorealism. It was a photorealistic game, but I've seen better, basically is what I'm trying to say. But this game was on the photorealistic scale. And, you know, this guy was walking around the house, and when it comes to actually interacting with the actual paranormal, the gameplay is very stiff. It's very clunky. It looks very rugged, if you know what I mean. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look smooth. It just looks so ropey. It doesn't look smooth. It looks really, really almost rushed. And it's almost like you can have one but not the other. You can have the photorealism, but you can't have the gameplay to go with it. It's almost like it's not powerful enough to run both at the same time. It's like these body cam games. I look at them and I think the graphics, some of the body cam games, by the way, are absolutely fantastic. There was one where this guy is like walking around a warehouse with a gun, and it looks like a real place. It looks like an actual place. But I do have that thought in the back of my mind. You know when you see gameplay trailers, but it says at the bottom in small text, not real gameplay? I always feel, how accurate is it? You know, how accurate is this gameplay trailer to what you're actually going to experience? And this game, I've seen people actually play it as well, so, you know, the graphics aren't much different to the gameplay trailer. I was looking at it, and, you know, you can walk around, you can shoot the odd person, but is there much more to it than that? Are you going to be able to do much more than just shoot someone? Just randomly shoot someone? And, you know, Are there going to be other core gameplay elements? You know, and in time, because I don't think, you might actually disagree, you might actually think there's actually games out there that have got a good level of photorealism or have got a terrific level of detail and actually have the gameplay to match. You might actually think that. You might actually be sitting there thinking, actually, Axel, that's not true, because I've actually seen games that I actually think have got brilliant gameplay. But for my time looking at them and analysing them, I don't actually see it. I don't see it. I don't see the mix. I see photorealism or gameplay. You know, obviously the games that have good gameplay, they haven't got terrible graphics. I've played so many great horror games over the years that have got good graphics for the actual console. You know what I mean? Like if you're playing an Xbox 360 game or a PS4, PS5 game, the graphics are good. They're not photorealistic, but they're very good. But they have great gameplay. You know, God of War, so on, terrific gameplay. Resident Evil, terrific gameplay. So many games. There's thousands of games that have kind of standard graphics for the console. Not photorealistic, but have great gameplay. I always feel with the photorealistic games, it's one or the other. There was The Matrix Awakens, wasn't there, which was like an Unreal Engine 5 experience. So many people were into it. So many people saw it and thought, oh my God, look how realistic this looks. Look at the city, look at the reflection on the cars, look at the light hitting the street. It looks absolutely fantastic, breathtaking. But then you see it and you see the actual gameplay itself, and there's not a lot you can do in it, is there? I think there was a shootout at the start, but it was a very scripted shootout where you're shooting out of a car window. Apart from that, I think all you can do is drive a car. There's not a lot you can do in it. And I think when you actually run over pedestrians, they just literally disappear into this number thing. So you couldn't actually, there was no collision. The citizens just literally disappear into this particle dust. And it was like, you know, there was no real core gameplay element to the game at all. So there's probably a bit of a fact to the matter that you can't have both. The technology is not advanced enough for photorealism plus awesome gameplay. I don't think we're at that point yet. I've not seen it. You guys might think differently, but I've never seen it. I've never seen, you know, ultra photorealistic graphics with excellent gameplay. But yeah, guys, give me your thoughts on it. Photorealistic graphics, these photorealistic horror games, these photorealistic games, these body cam games, you know, The Matrix. You know, that was probably one of the first I saw that was actually, you know, where there was actual proper gameplay released of the experience. But you guys might think differently to what I'm saying. You guys might have actually seen games that you actually think have got photorealistic graphics and good gameplay as well. But let me know in the comments, guys. I would love to hear your opinion. Guys, thanks ever so much for watching this video. I'll be back very shortly, obviously, with some more voiceover videos as well. So stick around and keep your head up for those. Guys, thank you ever so much for watching. I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now.